I'm just waiting for the music to stop. So welcome to the first session on how capital market can adapt to the changing world. We have heard from the Deputy Finance Ministers about the recovering economies and the government policy going forward. We have heard from our SCT chairman about the three pillars of development in the capital market in terms of building back trust and confidence, in terms of enhancing competitiveness and leveraging on the sustainability trend. We have heard from the central bank governor about the remaining challenge that are structural and the policy that need to be robust to different possible futures. So this session, we will zoom into the capital market and we will hear the questions in two rounds from both sides on the regulatory side, how to bring the trust and confidence back, as well as how to enhance the growth, the opportunity. So let me first start off by the outside-in look. We have Mr. Lyndon from the Asia Security Industries and Financial Market Association, who will share, could you please share what's your outlook on the current situation of the Thai capital market, the liquidity, the attractiveness, as well as the opportunity going forward?
Sure. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me okay? All right. First of all, I just want to thank the Stock Exchange of Thailand and Madam Secretary General of the SEC for inviting me to this distinguished panel today. My family and I, we love Thailand. We've been coming here during Christmas pretty much every single year except for COVID for the past 20 years. So it's really great to be back here in Bangkok and with you all on the stage. As a moderator just introduced, so I work for ASIFMA. But before ASIFMA, I used to work at Morgan Stanley. I was at Morgan Stanley for 26 years, starting off in New York, but spending the past 30 years here in Asia Pacific. I have to forward my own slides. Hold on a sec. Okay, and I trust that most of you perhaps don't know about ASIFMA. So we are an industry association. We focus on Asia Pacific on behalf of all the global investors and the global banks around the world. We have about 170 members here at ASIFMA, and we are one of three sister associations. We have SIFMA focus on the US market, AFME focus on Europe, and we focus on Asia Pacifics. And what we do is we serve as a bridge to intermediate discussions on behalf of global investors with regulators and exchanges across all of Asia Pacific. We're active partners with, for example, authorities in China, in India, in Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea, Taiwan. We're working with the IFC World Bank Group to help Vietnam in their aspiration to become upgraded from frontier market to emerging markets. And I'll just give you, you can see for yourselves the banks and the asset managers that we represent, all the name brands that you can think of, the Morgan Stanleys, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citi, Citadel, Optiver, they're our members, as well as the buy side, Fidelity, State Street, BlackRock, Vanguard, they're all our members. And we also have a growing list of non-bank members, a lot of law firms who help hold the pen for us on a pro bono basis to respond to consultations, as well as industry partners like MSCI and FTSE Russell. They're all our members, okay? And they're not passive members. They're not passive members. We all work together collectively to help better the capital markets for Asia. We all share the same goal to attract more global capital into Asia Pacific. And it's just with this that we'd just like to share some observations because it truly is a changing world. You can see on this chart that the interest by global investors to emerging markets remains strong. The trend is very, very clear. However, by the way, that chart shows the ex-China ETF, okay, ex-China. So this is without China, emerging markets without China, that remains strong. Because you'll see that investor interest in China has been going down. That's the red line that you see on the screen, okay? India has been surging, Japan has been surging. So as part of this whole global de-risking phenomenon, the China plus one strategy that you see on the economic side, we've seen in capital markets as well. However, this is a bit small, but you can't see it in, the top chart there, ASEAN. You'll see that amidst this changing liquidity, ASEAN really hasn't changed significantly. You're still at about 4 to 5% of the liquidity within Asia Pacific. And in particular for Thailand, the liquidity has been going down. So that's not been a pretty picture. Thailand, as we all know, and as shared by the speakers earlier, have been hit particularly hard by COVID-19. The deglobalization, shifting of supply chains, that's impacted Thailand as well. So Thailand has unfortunately borne the brunt of a lot of the global macro headwinds the past few years. And so what are some of these macro headwinds? So at ASIFMA, we conduct a survey of our members each year. And through the results of the survey, through speaking with some of our members, clearly, there are a lot of factors contributing to declining liquidity. There are some, perhaps because of the credit situation, you've had some corporate scandals, stock prices plummeting by 80% or over 90% in a single day. There's a new government that just took over just last week. Hopefully political instability does not lead to policy instability. That's always a concern from global investors. And the economic growth, as heavily cited, has not been strong. Okay, and retail contribution has also dropped off the cliff, down 16%, for obvious reasons. There's less money in one's pockets, and there's also less confidence owing to the lack of trust, perhaps, in corporate governance issues. Contrast that with what you see around the region. Vietnam, for example, is up 400%. So quite a lot of shifting liquidity even within Southeast Asia. We note the recent regulatory changes impacting securities lending and short selling. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later on. But as you can see, overall short selling turnover has dropped from what was previously 12% down to 4%. And even amongst the top 50 names, these are the names frequently traded by global investors, the most highly liquid names. The short selling turnover has also decreased from 8% down to 3%. So quite a lot of headwinds in the marketplace. But good signs, So despite all that, Thailand remains the highest share in terms of contribution to APAC liquidity amongst the nations in Southeast Asia at 37%. You can see because of the high turnover, it still dominates within Southeast Asia. And as cited earlier, there's been steady demand recovery of the tourism sector. We are also looking forward to our second home away from home this Christmas in Phuket. So we're all coming back. And therefore, there's an inflection point in the GDP. And we're really looking forward to steady recovery. Maybe I pause here.
Thank you, Lyndon, for pointing out the challenge that we have had in the past and the potential opportunity from the greater liquidity that coming to the emerging, but Thailand need to do to address in some of the issues that are concerning, as pointed out. So let me turn the questions to the SCT president. Could you please elaborate on how SCT has undertaken measures to improve quality liquidity and attractiveness to all type of investors?
Thank you very much. Last year was a challenge year, and the thing that we have been going through, we already heard about it. The registered company, the stability of the politics in Thailand, the economy recovery, and lastly, the regulation change. I would say at the moment, we have been doing the rebalancing the infrastructure of the capital market quite significantly. On the issue that we would like to prioritize would be first, how can we make it international standard? We try to do it like global practices, and also all the measure that we have been doing would be proportionate measure. If the Bank of Thailand use the gradual change, we would say we're using the proportionate measure. And lastly, we will do the dynamic measuring of the effectiveness of all those policy changes. So let me assure that for us, we keep on recording all the data, see the effectiveness, and see how can we make the market even be more efficient. Now let me move to the other issue on how we try to attract the interest of the foreign investor. At the moment, I would say that when you look at the challenges that we have, the economy, the politics, all the regulation change on the corporate governance that we have been improving, all of these issues are improving. The economy has been recovering due to the fact that our recovery is not universally recovered, but more like a K-shaped recovery. Some industry already have been surpassing the pre-COVID era. However, in some industry, now the recovery just start. For example, the tourism, the wellness, the hospitality, or the healthcare. You will notice that the number of the tourists, which represent the potential of the growth of this economy, has been recovered. Secondly, when you look at the government, now the government can spend money. The budget has been passed, and we will have all those budgets that gonna be distributed to the local economy. And lastly, when you look at all these corporate governance issues, yesterday, a few days ago, actually, the Stock Exchange of Thailand, the Security Exchange Commission, and the AMLO has signed agreement to work together so that we can accelerate all these monitoring, prosecution, and penalty. So these are the things that show how we have been progressing. Those are the things that I would like to address first. And secondly, when you look at the product of the Thai capital market, in the past, we used to mention that our products are very traditional product. It's in the food and agriculture. It's all the healthcare. It's all in the hospitality thing. But nowadays, when you look at the number of companies in the new economy, you will notice that more than 160 companies are actually in the new economy, and more than that in the secondary business that they have already. More than that, when you look at Thai real sector, we are not like a one-man show or the one-side economy. Actually, we are very well diversified. Nowadays, the service sector represents the biggest part in the listed company composition, followed by resource, technology, and financial institution. So you will see a lot of diversity in the Thai capital market. More than that, it's not just a big company. It's a big, medium-sized, and now we even have a startup company that start to getting into the capital market. Another thing, when you look at the Thai company, they are actually very well regarded in doing business in a sustainability manner. Thai company has been included, the number of Thai company has been included in all the sustainability index, the largest number in Southeast Asia, and actually, interestingly, more than 14 Thai companies are actually the gold class, which means the best in the industry in the Dow Jones category. So you will notice that it's not just the ecosystem, the product, and the liquidity. Those are the things that I would say are interesting for the foreign investor to look into Thailand.
Thank you, Kap. Dr. Pakorn suggests that the measures will be with purpose, with proportional, and will be continually monitored and adjust, as well as point out some of the attractiveness of the Thai capital market, including diversity of company, sustainabilities, and many different insights that are vibrant. Let me turn to the question to our Secretary General of the SEC. You have heard of the challenge on the regulatory issues, and we'd like to hear your thought on what are the development and how can you ensure the informants of the measures to international practice.
Thank you so much. And first of all, I have to say that good morning and thank you for having me here. I'm sure that for the SEC Thailand, our aims and our mission is to ensure the trust and confidence in our market. However, as you see that we heard a lot of these two words, but at the SEC level, we believe in comprehensive action across the entire ecosystem to strive the market integrity. For the SEC Thailand, we have long established the solid foundation as the result of the financial sector assessment program demonstrated that our regulatory framework align with the international standard. And I think that beyond that, our main focus nowadays is to aim to achieve two objectives. The first objective is how we can to prevent the corporate fraud. And the second one is how we're going to maintain the fairness in trading. So allow me to start to show you how to prevent, defer, and defeat regarding to our main objectives. The first one, you will see that in the preventive mechanism, last year we launched the program, what we call is strengthen the corporate governance on the listed firm. In that program, we aim to increase the oversight of the listed firm and all the stakeholders across the level, meaning that from the upstream to the downstream, and as well as to increase the oversight of the professional practitioners. Let me show you one of the programs. What we call is the value of auditors or the value of audit. In this program, we aim to let the stakeholders involving in the financial reporting ecosystem to recognize the value of the auditors. This is the thing that I think with these actions from all the stakeholders, we can prevent the issues from escalating and so avoid the recurring issues that happened into our capital market. We also try to empower our investor also by let them know their right and have sufficient information to inform them about the companies in risk connection with the financial position and also the operating result and etc. So this is the preventive tools that we try to strengthen into our ecosystem. Let we move to the defer or deter the event. So as we have to adapt ourselves also. So we try to use data analytics and also to leverage the technology to help us to detect the fraudulence and also the wrongdoing activities. By doing that, we have to get the strong collaboration with the exchange and also to support the exchange to perform their function as the frontline regulators. So this is the thing that I think gonna deter the event and also to let the people who try to motivate themselves to do the wrongdoing that we have the mechanism, we have the data analytic, we have the preventive tools to detect the wrongdoing activities into our market. From the lasting point, I would like to say that we would like to see the speed up of the law enforcement. So we propose to amend the Security Exchange Act to increase the power to investigate and also to protect the witness. By proposing that act, the designated SEC staff can be the responsible investigating officer and can be able to directly coordinate with the prosecutor. We can bring the criminal charge against the criminal before the court. By this new process, we allow to kickstart the justice process by pass the authority or no need to submit the complaint to the police as we have to do and stated in the current law. So this is the thing that I think if we get that new act, we're gonna increase the speed of law enforcement. And as the Dr. Pakorn mentioned, we also collaboration with the other regulatory entities. For example, we collaborate with the exchange, we collaborate with central bank, we collaborate with lots of agencies to speed up the law enforcement process by sharing data, use the same platform, and also have the solid process to reduce the redundancy of the process. This is the things that I believe that with all the actions, we can regain the trust and confidence. And I think next year we have to move to something else, because trust and confidence will embed it strongly into our capital market. Let I move to the second objectives. At the SEC level, we would like to see the fairness and orderly trading in the capital market. Recently, we implemented the supervision on the short sale transaction. You can see that we revised the criteria for the eligible securities that can be the security to be underline the short selling transaction. We also implemented the uptick rules that you have to do. We do not ban the short selling, but the short selling transaction has to be executed at the price above the last execution. And also we increase the quality of the supervision of the security firms. They have to know they have to conduct the know your process assessment with the foreign security firms clients. And also at our house, we conducted the team investigation on the wrongdoing or inappropriate trading behavior in our market. So with these activities and also a lot of effort that put through the market, I believe that the market will take another step. And I believe that we are in the right direction to advance our capital market. We still have two more measures that will effective by the end of this quarter. These two measures aims to reduce the abnormal volatility. For example, the dynamic price band that will impose the band plus minus 10% from the last executed price that supplement with the ceiling and floor measures that we already have into our market. And we also implement the last measure. I can say that this is the last measure that gonna implement into the market. This is the minimum resting time. This is the measures that aims to prevent the misleading order and spoofing. So again, all measures aims to maintain the fairness and orderly trading in our capital market. And this is the things that I would like to give the strong confidence that our market will be better in terms of fairness and also in terms of reducing or try to eliminating the inappropriate behavior in the trading. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Pornanong mentioned that the objective is clear. We want to prevent fraud and want to level up the fairness and to prevent any of the misbehaving behavior. Another point that's quite important is that the speed of the process, which can be achieved by using technology in terms of detection as well as collaboration with relevant authority in the justice system. Dr. Pornanong mentioned that next year we will do something else, but don't have to wait for next year. We can do it next round. But before that, I would like to ask Lyndon to reflect on what you have heard from SET President and the SEC SecGen.
No, thank you. Very, very insightful and helpful comments. It's good to better understand the context for some of these actions that are being taken. Oh, that's right. I have to do this. Okay. So you know, I want to address some of the specific measures that the Secretary General just went through, but I'll get to that in my third point. Let me first quickly go through a couple of other suggestions to explore. And certainly, I'm not the expert here, but you know, what we see is that regulators in the region are looking around, and they're exploring what others are doing, and they're trying to, you know, copy or trying to do something similar when they feel that it is helpful to their markets. So there's been some discussion in some of the earlier slides about the Value Up program, which was started by JPX. It's spread over to the Korea Stock Exchange, and now there's some references to that in Thailand, and I think that's great, right? Because for the longest time, you know, in Japan in particular, owing to many corporate cross-holdings, just lack of transparency to understand really what is the true value of the company, it has diminished appetite from domestic investors to want to invest in Japanese companies. So it's really cool that a former CEO of an investment bank, Nomura, took over JPX, and he began to pioneer, you know, kind of not forcing, but maybe forcing by disclosure and open competition, you know, to try to encourage corporates to do a better job of boosting shareholder value, releasing idle cash, you know, more buybacks and dividends to investors, open disclosures about the true state of how the companies are doing, and that's a really great phenomenon. And Japan has seen, you know, rewards from that initiative. Investors are pouring in, and we're very appreciative of Thailand looking to do something similar. I think that would go a long way to identify early on through disclosures the true health of the companies, the true value of the companies, and encourage investors to have more trust to invest more. A second area that we've noticed has been a really dynamic fuel for the markets, and we see this both in Japan as well as India, is that they have very powerful pension programs. Okay, in Japan it's called the NISA, and they have 45 billion already invested just year to date, just this year. And SIP is a similar program in India, and it steadily generates $1 to $2 billion of incremental investments into domestic mutual funds every month. It also helps to spur the development of the domestic asset management mutual fund industry, providing more investment options, for these pension programs. And the tax incentives also encourage more investment. So again, I'm clearly not the expert here. Our members are, okay? So that long list of members, they're not just members, they're active contributors. We have regular meetings with our members. We discuss ideas. We look across Asia Pacific, identifying opportunities, identifying challenges. We have strong partnerships across the region. We hosted the National Stock Exchange of India in their 30th year anniversary in Hong Kong. We have regular engagement with JPX, other authorities. We welcome more engagement with Thailand. So that's on pension reform. But I really want to get to, some of the recent, reforms with respect to trading, fair trading. We all want fair trading. We all want to see bad guys punished. But we have to be careful. We have to be careful who we are looking to copy. Okay, so some of the stuff going on in Korea with the short sale ban, honestly, my sense is that there's a little bit of buyer's remorse from the regulator, but they can't back down now, because now it's caught the president's attention, it's caught the public's attention, and it's become a political issue now. So we're still working closely with them, trying to explore solutions, okay, but be careful of very blunt instruments. I think the Bank of Thailand governor said it very, very well. There was a fourth quarter drop-off, and then everyone's getting really, really excited. But interest rates are a blunt tool. It impacts everybody. So be careful what you do, despite the pressure to lower the interest rate. Similarly, financial regulation, it can be a blunt tool. So be careful what you wish for, because we've seen a drop-off in investments in Korea. We've seen a drop-off in Chinese investments, with regulators also focus on high-frequency trading regulations, focus on cracking down on short-selling securities lending, okay? But these are very, very essential, critical components to healthy liquidity in the marketplace. I was meeting with MAS, a Singapore regulator, a few weeks ago, and they were asking, because they just convened a committee to discuss how to grow the equity markets. And so, like, how do we attract corporate issuers to Singapore, to SGX? Okay, and the answer was really quite simple, right? You have to, offer attractive valuations for corporate issuers to consider your market over others. But, where does the valuation come from? A large of it comes from liquidity. Just like when I met with the CEO of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange a few years ago, before Bonnie, we sat down, and he said, I've got 3 priorities at the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. It's liquidity, liquidity, and liquidity. That's what it's all about. Okay, that's the magic formula. That's the secret sauce. Do you know how much market makers and quant funds account for in terms of the liquidity in the US markets? Take a guess. 70%, okay, 70, sometimes up to 80%. Okay? Significant contributor of healthy liquidity to the marketplace. But when we introduce things like short sale bans or even minimum resting times, I'm sorry, I have to be kind of truthful in terms of reflecting our members' views. This will slow down liquidity. Why is selling bad? In a transaction, if someone buys, guess what? The other side is selling. There's always a sell against every buy. So, so we need the sells for liquidity. We need the market makers to come in and take the other side when no one else wants to buy or when no one else wants to sell. These are very healthy contributors to market liquidity. But when you increase the minimum resting time, they have to hesitate. Okay, so I'm going to be out there exposed and vulnerable, then I'll just increase my bid-ask spread. And therefore, liquidity is going to drop for the best bid and offer price. Likewise for securities lending. Uptick rule is good. I'm not saying that it's bad, right? But typically the uptick rule is as long as the last price isn't going down, you can short sell. But now it has to be, the price has to not be, it's just gotten harder. So you see the figures in terms of securities lending, short selling, dropping off. That takes liquidity away. So, again, we have 170 members. We are at your service. So anytime you would appreciate maybe, a different perspective, ultimately the decision rests with the regulator, rests with the exchange. But we're happy to provide free assistance. You don't have to pay a McKinsey or BCG, expensive consultant. You can organize a conference in beautiful Thailand. I'm sure we'll all love to come here, and we'll offer our recommendations for free. Yeah. So I don't know. Is this my last point? I'm running out of time, right? Okay. Sorry. A few other suggestions from our members. Let me just kind of read off the list. It's not in the deck. So another comment is, normally for public consultations, after the public consultation has been finalized, then implementation begins. But it was strange how the implementation to extend trading hours in March, before that was finalized already, domestic brokers were being reached out to say you have to make some system changes. Likewise,
thank you, Lyndon. You have highlighted three important points. The first one that we can learn from what other exchanges are doing, including the value up program, as well as other measures. Another important point is that the important to balance, to maintain the liquidity, to make sure that the market making function is still performing. And the very most important point is that you will offer free service for us, the advice. So
Actually, ASIFMA come to our office quite often, so we get to know your research result. But let me...
So please, the section, please
let me address
response.
about your mention. Yes, I agree that one measures can impact positive and negative into the market, right? But as regulators, we have to balance between liquidity and also the fairness to the market, because we have investors, retail investors, and also the institutional investor, both domestic and also the foreign investors. So I sure that as the regulator, we keep in mind that every measures that we try to implement into the market we may not say that it's gonna win-win situation, but I think it's gonna advance the market for a sustainable way, not just in the short period. So if you look into the liquidity, please look in terms of long-term liquidity, because we would like to maintain the investment from our retail investor also. Because I will say later that when you discuss about the value up program, this is our initiatives also. And when you think about the long-term investment from the pension fund, and this is the thing that we collaboration with Ministry of Finance try to get to another step. For example, the individual saving account. So that's why I said that trust and confidence going to be the hot issue for this year. But next year, we're going to have a lot of good development that can bring growth into the market. Let me just answer this round, and then I will move to
I
Dr.
think you
Pakorn.
can continue. There's a mention that I refer to ACC about how to convert saving.
But please welcome to come again, you know.
For free too.
For free
For free.
services, we do not have much money, We affected by the turnover of the market also.
So please continue. There's a mention earlier, the deputy minister talking about how to convert saving into investment. So please elaborate.
Okay. Please, my slide, please. We have to adapt into the innovation, and also we have to adapt into the technology changes also. So at the SEC level, we see ourselves as the promoter and also as an enabler to market participant to move forward by leveraging the innovation and also the technology. So I think before I go to the value up program or how we're gonna increase the long-term investment into our capital market, let me go back to how we adapt the technologies and also the market innovation into our capital market. We try to reduce cost and also to increase the market accessibility, especially for the small investors. So we have the project, what we call is the digital infrastructure. In this project, we try to have the ultimate picture as the end-to-end digital process, both primary market and also the secondary market. Our first phase is to focus to the bond market. And right now we are in the current state to have the web portal for debt issuing and filing in a digital way. And we're gonna move forward to next stage to have the end-to-end digital processes in the primary market and the secondary market for the bond market in near future. And the second thing is that we try to reduce the cost and speed up the process of opening the account. So what we call is easy onboarding. Last 2 years, I think we try to standardize the process and try to get the minimum data requirement for opening the account. What we call is a single form. And right now we let them portable the single form among the business operators, so that can reduce the redundant processes and also to speed up the opening account. And right now in the phase of talking to the central bank and also the Office of Insurance Commission, try to share the data regarding the KYC data. And we aim to portable that data among our regulated entities so that things can enable the accessibility to the financial products and also the services. We also try to support fundraising to the investment token. We continuously adapt our regulations to support the diverse ICO business model and also to support the fundraising by the sustainability theme token. That the things that I think this is a very advanced step compared to the other in the region. this is the thing that we try to promote. And we would like to use the strengthen of the traditional market player. For example, the securities firm try to help promote the fundraising through the digital asset also. And we even expand our sandbox to the digital asset operator so they can try their innovation and also try to do something else that can reduce cost, increase accessibility, but with the control environment. This is the sandbox that we just expand this year. And this is a thing that we try to promote the innovation. We try to promote the leveraging the technology, not just for ourselves, but also to move the market participants forward also. And lastly, that you mentioned, this is our mission to promote the growth in the capital market. So first, we aim to see the sustainable long-term investment more and more. And secondly, we would like to see the investment under the professional services, since the financial literacy for our community is not quite high. So we would like to turn the saving into investment. We would like to make that investment sustainable enough to make that sufficient capital in the future. So we would like to leverage the professional services into the retail investment. And also we would like to make the visibility for the Thai stocks and also the Thai capital market. So recently we launched the Value Up program also. And this is the voluntary reporting scheme. So the listed firm who volunteer to disclose their plan regarding the environmental practices or would like to lift up their corporate governance, they can volunteer to disclose their plan. But they have to commit to the plan. They have to report the progress. And also they have to commit to communicate to investor. So this is the thing that we incentivize the supply side to make their securities to be the eligible products for the Thai ESG fund. So incentivize the investor. So we ask the Ministry of Finance to increase more tax incentives to investors. So I think this is the thing that I think is a win-win measures or win-win effort to get the better visibility for supply side and to turn saving into investment with the tax incentives. And we're going to move forward to individual saving account in the near future. The one that our deputy mentioned is the Vayu Pak Fund. This will add more capital inflow into our market. In their plan, they try to launch within next month. The total amount of the new capital is about 100 to 150 billions. And the fund will have the attractive return structures for the investors. And also the Vayu Pak Fund will invest into the listed firm who give the attractive returns and also focus on corporate governance also. So altogether, I think this is to maintain trust and confidence and also to support the new growth to capital market while we wait for the economics result that gonna happen according to the government's policy. So this is the thing that I would like to add on top of the things that you mentioned.
So we hear that it's not only about growth, but it's also about development and to invigorate the capital market with measures. We are short on time, but Dr. Pakorn, please provide the last comment.
Certainly, I am a fast speaker. So I will just conclude into 2 points.
A lot of things to explain. I'm so sorry.
First of all, I would like to ensure that all the measures that come out will be dynamically evaluated. Certainly, if there is thing that we can improve or something that we don't need, certainly we will propose it to our regulator to look into it. That's the first thing. The second thing, let me show you the slide on page number 3, please. The timing is crucial. At the moment, when you look at the price to earning ratio of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, you will notice that at the moment, our forward PE ratio is below the 5-year average in the past 5 years. So this is the thing that I would like to mention first. And secondly, when you look at the many industries, those PE numbers are also below the average. So once you hear the story about the recovery of the economy, once you hear about the stability, the better stability of the government, once you hear about all the things that we have come out to making the market become more trustworthy, I would say that this is the right timing to look into the Thai Stock Exchange again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I like to thank you all the participants, Lyndon from ASIFMA, Dr. Pornanong from ACC, and Dr. Pakorn from SET. And please await for the 4-theme seminar that follows. These are the themes that we think are quite attractive for this year. Relocations, digital, sustainability, and the energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, all the panelists and moderator, for a very interesting and informative session.